And there we are. Good evening, everyone. We're going to wait a couple minutes for some people to show up, but we are excited, as usual, to be here.
Are you going to do one of the songs, or are you going to sing for us?
I came up with one just a couple minutes ago.
Oh, that ought to be good. I don't know. You never know who's listening. They're like, "Oh gosh, we got to book him."
Yeah. Listen, if somebody books me for a singing gig, we know they got some serious issues.
Well, maybe they see the potential in you. Who knows? So
That's true.
that might be another thing.
That's true.
Right.
And it's an ever-changing world, so who knows what people want to hear now.
Right. And there's a lot of people that get discovered. It's kind of like, remember the fellow from Journey?
Yeah.
They had a lead singer, and I actually went to the concert when they had the alternate, not Steve Perry, but the other fellow, and he sounded just like him. He was amazing, had this amazing, powerful voice. So, and he was singing? He was singing at a bar, some of those cover bands. So cover band or cover songs. So yeah. So you never know.
Yeah, it's anything is possible. Anything is possible, and if that happens, besides being shocked to death, we'll be a firm believer that anything is possible for real.
That's right.
Hey, we got one person with us. Good evening. We're glad to have you with us. We're going to wait for a couple more people to join us. We were just talking about my wonderful singing, how I might get discovered for a multi-million-dollar record contract.
It's only if you want it. You just have to decide if that's what you want.
Yeah, but it's got to be the right amount of money though. If it's not like big dollars, then yeah, I'm gonna pass on it.
Yeah. So do you do that at the gym too?
No. You know what? I one of the things that I've been really trying to work on is letting more of my personality show when I do lives and when I do videos, because I'm generally just pretty straightforward, and I've been told I have a pretty okay personality most of the time.
Yeah, I think you do. Don't be so analytical. You told me to watch cartoons and let the little kid in me come out. So let the little kid in you come out. Yeah. Who cares what other people think? I mean, that's what we're teaching. So that's how we need to be.
I absolutely agree with you. I absolutely agree. Before I forget the song, though, I am going to go ahead and do the song, and one of my wishes and desires is that nobody gets it. So this way, there's better chances that nobody gets it. So, well, actually, you know what? We'll wait a couple more minutes. We'll wait one more minute, and then we'll get rolling.
All right.
How was your day today?
The day has been good. I can't complain. Billy. I don't know Billy's last name, but remember he says, if you complain, you remain the same. Or what is it? If you complain, you remain.
That's it.
And you don't move forward. And you don't move forward, you stay stuck in life. And that's why when you give gratitude is actually, you're in a receiving mode. So if you want to receive from the universe and from God and everywhere out there, that's why gratitude journaling is so important.
Yeah, you really can't be, it's hard to be grateful and complaining at the exact same time.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's so much we can be grateful for, and always grateful for these Wednesdays that we come on together and just connect with some people. And hopefully they will walk away with a couple nuggets like today. And I know I do.
Yeah. So you know what I'm going to do, because I want to save this song. At some point we'll do it to break things up. But good evening, everyone. My name is Eric Shawn, and I am here with the wonderful, my co-host, Dr. Linda. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about using your mind to help your body create, or help you to create the body that you want. and we're excited about going over this with you. We talked before about how the mind controls everything, so it's a great topic, and it's really the only way to ever really convince your body to do what you want it to do is by the convincing has to begin within the mindset.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about this evening.
So there's physical fitness, which we all know physical is the body. There's physical fitness, but there's also mental fitness, which we overlook a lot. Physical fitness, of course, is we're working the body. Mental fitness is we're working the mind, but how many people really marry the two together? The mental fitness. I believe that that is probably the number one thing that is missing when it comes to creating the body that you love, the body that you want, the life that you desire as well. I mean, that applies to every single area of our life. So I think today would be an amazing opportunity for us to share what are some mental fitness exercises that we can give to people, and you can apply it in any area of your life, as these are some strategies that I know I share a lot with my patients, and I'm thinking that you have a lot of the strategies for your clients as well.
Would in your mind, Dr. Linda, would affirmations fall in that category?
Absolutely. Affirmations would be one. Really, it's just being clear on what is it that you want. That's the thing. It's like this is one of the things that we see a lot when people come in, and you maybe see this as well. They're like, oh, I'm like, what do you want? I want to be healthy. Well, what is healthy? You know, it's just like, you got to be specific. Oh, I just want to lose some weight. How much? You lost a pound. I did my job. Okay, we're done. Okay, there's the $3,000 that you paid for. You said you wanted to lose weight. So it's really about having a clear intention of just, what do you want? Be clear on what you want. That would be number one. And a lot of times we want something, and as I always repeat, it's because of the way we think we're going to feel. However, you still have to know exactly what it is you want, because God and the universe will always give you what you ask for. If you ask in detail, you're going to get that in detail. So part of the mental fitness is really just seeing exactly what it is you want. And not only just, once you create that person, because that's where the creativity comes in. If you can see it in your mind, you can create it. But we talk ourselves out of it. It's just like, well, I did have 2 kids, and I work full time. I have a husband. I have a business to run. I have the side business, and we start telling stories that don't match up with the vision that we have, that we want to be healthier, or that we want a particular body. So we start putting limits on ourselves for that. And so my thing is always stop putting the limits on that. Have the intention, be clear about it, and see yourself. You have to see yourself in that new body. Oh, there I am. I'm going to go get my smoothie that's not loaded with sugar. There I am drinking my water. I'm working out with Eric. Man, look at my biceps. It's really about taking the time to visualize it and marrying the feeling of it. How am I feeling? Because there's an energy around health. When a person first walks into my office, when a person first walks into your gym, and they're just starting out, they have a whole different energy, right?
Absolutely.
Versus the energy of the better and more improved version of them, that person has another different energy as well. That is the secret, is feeling the energy of the new improved version of that person and getting excited about that.
Yeah, that's that's one of the main things that I try to draw out of people when I first start working with them. And it becomes obvious very quickly that they're not very clear with exactly what they want. They'll come in and they'll say, I want to lose 50 pounds. And I'll say, why do you want to lose 50 pounds? And they'll say, because 20 years ago, when I weighed X amount was when I felt the best. And I say to them, well, number one, you have to realize that a pound is not necessarily a pound. I mean, are you concerned about, well, number one, if you weigh the same as you weighed 20 years ago, it's not going to look the same as it did 20 years ago. So are you really concerned about a certain weight, or are you concerned about what you want to look like? And 9 times out of 10, because we're so conditioned to put weight numbers on things, 9 times out of 10, what people really get excited about is the finished product and how they're going to look. And that's really what they're after, is a specific look. So then I try to help them again, because you mentioned it's precision. The more precise you can be, the more concise you can be about what you really want, then you can put the energy around it. And you're not going to be able to manifest or create that with all kind of confusion. So once we can really get it down to, I want a certain look, then we start dealing with, well, what is that look? What does it look like? And then to get them more excited, because we both know that part of the whole mindset is the more you can feel being in that place, the more you can feel actually having those results, that number one raises your energy, or your vibration and your frequency, right? You start to get more excited about it. I say, well, once you have that body, what are you going to do? What are you going to buy? How are you going to celebrate? Because again, the secret is if you can get your mind dialed in precisely to the body that you really want to have. Number one, your mind knows where it's going, right? The mind controls the body. The body can only respond to what the mind tells it to respond to. If you give it 50,000 different directions, it doesn't know what to respond to. So yes, I agree. Precision and precise goals is so important. So important.
In looking, if they know they want something, they have to put that energy of, how does that healthy, better version of me, how does she feel, or how does he feel?
Right.
That is, you have to practice the feeling. Mm-hmm. And the feeling is usually in an emotion. A feeling could be powerful. So we stand into a place where we felt powerful, and we practice the emotion of powerful, and we connect it. And it's almost like when a person walks into like a boxing ring, they have this whole character and this whole persona. When they go in there, it's all business, and they have this feeling, this character. When you go and work out, I believe you need to have that character on. It's like, no excuses. I'm here to get some results. Let's go. Let's go. And if we have that attitude, it really starts to fall in all areas of our life. Because that's one thing that I've noticed, that when you accomplish something, especially physical with your body, because when you change your physiology, you just feel more confident in all areas of your life. You could walk into a room and it's like, shoot, who's that? And it could be a person that maybe they're not the perfect body, but maybe they release some weight and they're carrying themselves different, and they're giving off this different energy of the fit person that they have, that's their future them. Mm-hmm. And so when they walk in, and they're walking in like they're already that person. And that's if you marry those two, oh my goodness, it's just like things just change. But that's where we have to practice the feeling. And what is that feeling? That feeling is usually powerful and confidence. That's what I hear a lot. I just want to feel good. But why do you want to feel good? And we just keep going down that path. Why do you want to feel this way? And that is what we hold on to.
And that's what I do with my clients, is I basically walk them through what I call a physical inventory, a personal inventory. And you can really do it yourself, right? You have to, number one, ask yourself, how you feel right now? How do you feel right now in this current body? right? Because if you feel okay, if you feel great, then there's no motivation to go anywhere else, right? But then you start to realize I don't feel good. I feel sad that I don't have any energy. I look in the mirror and I feel disappointed with myself. And then you take an inventory of how you feel. How will you feel once you get energy? I'll feel amazing. I'll feel like I did when I was a kid. How will you feel when you lose the weight? I will feel like I accomplished something. I will feel great. How will you feel when you're healthy? What is your health currently? What does healthy feel like?
Yeah.
Right? How will you feel? What will it change? And it's an inventory that you can take on your own. But again, what it does is it helps you to get in that space, right? When you lose the 100 pounds and you're wearing that dress that you want to wear and you walk into that party, how's that gonna feel? Are you gonna walk with your head down, or are you gonna strut? Well, if you're gonna strut, start strutting now.
Yeah.
Start celebrating that win now. And all of those things will help to get you from where you are to where you want to go. Because as you say all the time, Dr. Linda, everything that we do is to produce a certain feeling. Mm-hmm. The goal is to get into that feeling now.
Yeah. And one thing with mental fitness, we can apply it in any area of our life. And the best time really is right when we wake up, but in the evening, right before we go to bed. Visualize, create a little mind movie. And I was having this conversation with a patient and regarding, pain. And I said, well, just start seeing yourself at work. Start seeing yourself at work, helping people and just walking and just feeling, just energetic, having a smile on your face. I said, what are some of the conversations you're going to have with these people? So I start planting that in this head and say, what are they going to be saying? What are you going to be talking about? How are you going to be helping them? Have those conversations. And he's like, wow, I really like that. I'm like, yeah, give that a try. Because when you're preparing your body for that, and it's no different in whether it's a disease process, regardless of what a doctor tells you. I'm always saying it's your mind and it's your body. And you can be the exception to the norm. And often I hear this, and it's kind of a struggle with some people because they're like, oh, there's nothing out there. There's nothing that's going to work. I've done everything. I'm like, there is no way you've done everything. We've tried everything. I hear that. I'm like, you haven't tried everything because, well, right now something new just came about, So there's no way that you've tried everything. It's more about, I'm open to the possibilities. And, when it comes to health, it's just like, don't put limits on what God can do to your body. When it comes to physical health, fitness, it's the same thing. Don't put limits. You'll do the work if you really want a body. If you want a J-Lo body, you better work out like J-Lo. And that woman's got a mindset like she has a vision, she goes after it, she does the work. You see yourself ahead of time, and you've got to just really play that role of that character.
Because it's all about the vision. And you mentioned visualization. I remember I was 17, 18 years old, and I was really, I wanted to grow up and be a bodybuilder. And I remember that I would read this stuff that these Flex magazine and Muscle and Fitness, and I would read it. And every once in a while I'd come across these articles about visualization, and they would talk about what bodybuilders would do is before they went to sleep, is they would sit and they would visualize the workout of the next day and how their body's going to feel, and that they're not going to have any injuries, and their body's going to be working perfectly in harmony. And they would say these affirmations. They would say it over and over again, and they would vision how the weight felt and, how the motion was going to feel. Because what it would do is it would help them get on that same plane, that same energy field. And they would have these great workouts, and then as I got older, Michael Phelps would do a lot of the same thing. And I know I mentioned it before, he said he would visualize every possible thing that could happen in the race. And so by the time he swam the race, he had swam it 600 times. So he had to win because he knew exactly what to do when anything happened, anything, even if it went wrong. And I do it right before I work out. I sit and I try to visualize, how much weight I'm gonna be working with, what it's gonna feel like, how easily the weight's gonna move, all of that, because I really believe that if you can visualize it, right, the more that you're capable of visualizing it, the more you're gonna be able to recreate that vision, So I'm all about visualizing and using affirmations while you're visualizing.
100%. Now, we have a comment here about struggling with consistency. I struggle with consisting both with food and choices and fitness goals. Any suggestions? Well, one is going to be the language. It's always the language. Like I said, I don't associate with pain. I'm just like, when you hear pain, you hear it has like a negative connotation. So even like struggle, instead of struggle, it's like if you reframe that, it's like I'm working on finding better ways to deal with consistency with healthier choices and fitness goals. So when you start wording it in that way, the brain goes to, how do I do that? If we talk about I struggle with this, the brain goes to struggle, and it brings up more opportunities to struggle. So it's like saying, I want to get out of debt. I want to get out of debt. I want to get out of debt. The brain just hears debt instead of, I have financial abundance. I'm enjoying the journey to financial abundance. So when it comes to fitness, when it comes to, people will say, well, I just need the right diet. I'm like, you don't need the right diet. You start to put real food. And it's just like, I'm enjoying the journey of being healthy. I'm enjoying the journey that I have found food that my body really loves. Those are some of the ways that you can start with being consistent. I'm enjoying finding a consistency in my routine. So if we focus on the joy instead of the setback about it, we're going to come into more opportunities to follow that consistency.
I remember somebody told me a story about a guy who would do these seminars, and he would have these business cards, and on one side of the business card would be the problem, and the other side of it would be the solution. And I think that a lot of people struggle when they're in the gym because their mind gets so caught up in the problem. Right, the problem of it being hard, the problem of I would rather eat this and this is what I have to eat, as opposed to really focusing on the solution. The solution is that you're going to step out of the shower and look in the mirror and love what you see. Right, that's the solution. So if you focus more on the outcome and the solution, it makes it easier. But the thing that I always believe is generally when you struggle with consistency, it's one or two things, and generally it's both. The first thing is that you really don't have a precise goal. You don't have a goal that is big enough to keep you motivated. Right now, if you have a goal where you want to lose 10 or 15 pounds and that's the end of the goal, right? That goal generally isn't that big because you could do that very simply, right? And you've probably done it over and over and over again. But if the goal, the bigger the goal is, that's really going to stretch you and get you, make you do something that you haven't done before. And then the other thing is if the goal is big enough, then the problem is being able to believe that you can accomplish it. I always find that it's one of the two, and generally it's both, that the goal is not the right goal for you. It doesn't stretch you enough, and you struggle to see yourself in that place that you want to go to. So my suggestion would be to really focus and be precise on the goal that you want, and make sure that it's a true goal. I hear people all the time that I run across people that want to lose 100, that need to lose 100 pounds. I mean, me and the client would both agree at some point, but they say my goal is to lose 20 pounds. But they've lost 20 pounds over and over and over again. But why do they say 20 pounds? Because they've lost faith and belief in themselves. Right? That they can lose the 100 pounds. So based off of that mindset, they're not willing to stretch themselves at all. they don't believe, and consequently, they're not going to be able to put any energy behind it. So really focus precisely on what the goal is, because the goal has to be a goal that ultimately at the end of the day is going to make you wake up thinking about it. Because you can't tell yourself I can't have this, because you'll have it. Make you not want it. Take the desire away, because the final end result is more powerful. There's an old saying, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. And it's the exact same philosophy. It's about being able to be so connected to whatever that goal is that the obstacles, somebody once says, I'm so focused on the goals, the obstacles must give way. If you're so focused on the goal, then the obstacles disappear. So those would be my suggestions, to really take a look at if the goal is a goal that you can really get behind and be excited about. And then the solution is to figure out how to get connected to it to where you actually believe it. Because I think that the consistency with the food and the working out is not the condition, it's symptom. So what is it a symptom of? I believe it's a symptom of not having a good enough goal that you can really buy into. So those are the two things I would take a look at.
And the belief, like you said, belief, you really have, it's the belief, and it's always the language behind it, the story. As you go back to, it's the story.
Yeah.
It's not really that difficult to eat healthy. People say it's difficult. I said, no, it's not. I said, let me tell you how to do it. I'm like, one, meal prep. Super easy. I'm like, make a huge salad, enough for maybe 3-4 days, and then you make another huge salad for the middle of the week. Put celery, put cucumbers, put carrots, put bell peppers, put mushrooms. I said I put all kinds of stuff. I put some shredded coconut. I put chia seeds, and then I put a little bit of I have balsamic vinegar and lemon juice and some avocado oil. Okay, I got my veggies. Cook my protein. I have chicken. I have fish. I have turkey. I have canned salmon. You can use an Instapot. You can make meatloaf. Make enough. You can have like a party. Do it with some of your friends. You can do a food swap. Okay, so boom, you prepared some meals, right? You can freeze them, put them in containers. You have your vegetables and you have your protein. All right, where are you getting your carbohydrates from? Well, have a sweet potato. Nature's candy is fruit. Have some berries. Try to train your body that's for those 3 meals a day. If you're getting hungry, well, I always like to have like apple cider vinegar mixed in some water with a little bit of lemon juice and put a little bit of sea salt. I have a Zevia right now. This is like it's like a diet soda, but it's sweetened with stevia, something like that. Sometimes in the evenings, it's like I'm craving like something sweet. And typically, if I do that, I will have just like a Zevia. So it's really not that difficult. When we focus on the solution, like you said, instead of on one side is the problem, the other side solution. Let's see what solutions are there with meal planning, workouts. I wanted to start getting up earlier to get more done. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to the 5:15 class. There's a 4:30 class that I missed out on because people signed up for it. I was like, wow, that many girls are out working out at 4:30 in the morning. But just because I wanted to get up earlier. And I just think when you just make a decision, God and the universe will create an opportunity.
Yeah, there's an old saying, if your goal is not big enough, there's going to be nothing that nobody can ever tell you to make you accomplish it. Yeah. Right? If your goal is big enough and you're excited enough about it, there's nothing that anybody can say to you to stop you from accomplishing it. And I think that's the reality.
And when it comes to mental fitness is a lifelong journey. And the mental fitness is going to be a lifelong journey as well. That never stops. It's just like showering, we're going to shower the rest of our life. We're going to brush our teeth. We're going to be washing our face. And that is a lifelong process. The mental fitness as well. that's a lifelong journey. We never get to the point where we have arrived. Our library just gets bigger and bigger. And I go back and then I read a book and I was like, oh my gosh, I get something different out of it because I'm different. And also your associations with other people as well. And you get, wow, these aha moments. So it's all doable. It's wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. And you can change it in different ways where, you know, maybe like there's a place in town, they have meals to go that are pretty healthy, paleo and keto conscious. So go and pick out 1 or 2 meals. There's delivery services pretty much in a lot of the bigger cities. And, I live in a small town and there's one here. And you can also change things up that way too.
Yeah, and you brought up an important point, and I don't know if I would necessarily connect it with mental fitness until you brought it up, because I think it's definitely connected with it. Is your circle of influence is so important, right? Because all of the information that you put into your brain helps create a personality. It helps to formulate your thoughts. You are a collection of everybody that you hang around with. Les Brown once said that if you hang around with 9 idiots, before long you're going to be the 10th, right?
Yeah.
So it's important who you spend your time with. If you're on a journey to change the way that you look and the way that you feel, you want to connect and surround yourself with people that are on the same journey as you. That's the greatest thing about networking at the gym, is that you meet people that basically will help feed your mind the food that you need to stay focused, and you hold each other accountable. But if you have a collection of friends that you used to going out with every afternoon and having a couple drinks and eating, and now all of a sudden, on Monday they ask you out and you got, you employ willpower. No, I'm not going to go. Tuesday and Wednesday, willpower. Thursday, you're like, I didn't make it to the gym. What's the point? You're going out with them. So your circle of influence is so very important.
Yeah.
Because everything that you put into your brain is like mental food.
Yeah. 100%, because even studies have shown this, that people that are overweight or people who are struggling with health, they connect more with those people because they're also suffering, and you want to be part of a team that's suffering. And if you keep complaining if a woman's complaining about her partner, the next woman's going to complain, the next one, and the next one. And so you're going to have all the complaining ladies that are complaining about their partners. You have all the complainers. And I really believe that, one, having that vision, 2, feeling, how do you want to feel, and feel, and giving as much detail how you're going to feel in the conversations that you're going to have with your other fit friends. You've got to put in that picture just even more detail. You're going to have healthy friends, strong friends, encouraging friends, ones that are like, come on, let's go. We're going to do this. We got this. Start putting that in your story and being excited, or you're going to be that excited friend. Like, come on, girl, let's go. Get up, let's go. I mean, sometimes I'm that person, or I have to tell myself, all right, Linda, let's go. Come on. Do you want to stay the same, or do you want change? And if I hit the snooze button again, I'm going to stay the same. My body already knows that. And the hardest thing about change is just not doing what you did the day before. That is the hardest thing about change.
Yep. And another real hard thing about change, because the actual act of changing is not hard. It's getting your mind to be in agreement with you.
Yeah.
Right? It's getting your mind to be willing to do what needs to be done to get you from where you are to where you want to go. And that's why mental fitness is so important. And we talked about the power of affirmations real briefly, but I think that, again, you are what you tell yourself, right? I am what I believe that I am. So the words that we use when talking to ourselves are so much more important than the words we use when we're communicating with anybody else. If you tell yourself, I'm going to fail because I failed before, chances are you're going to fail. It's like what's the what's the thing, if you believe you can or you believe you can't, either way you're correct.
Yeah.
Whichever one you believe, that's what's going to happen. So affirmations are important because you're basically speaking love and life into yourself.
Mhm. Yeah. And everything around you as well, because your energy is impacting everything around you as well. So that
Exactly.
is, yep, that is the secret. So I wanted to just kind of finish up with this a little bit about one, the clarity of just knowing what you want. Two, really just marrying the feeling. You know, three, visualizing of the feeling, and or seeing yourself in a movie and talking to yourself and being just very detailed about that movie that you're seeing yourself in, and seeing and the people that you're talking to, the conversations, the colors, the smells, the environment, just being very detailed, like people giving you compliments. Those are some of the real big details, and you keep practicing that in the mental fitness in any area of your life, any area, and it will work. It will. It's just like deja vu when it happens. It's just like, gosh, this sounds familiar. This looks familiar. I
Yeah.
don't know if you want to add anything to that.
The only thing that I want to add is is that you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself. If you're not happy with the physical being that you have right now, you owe it to yourself to discover what a new physical form looks like. Right? You know this. Give yourself a chance to navigate to something different. Give yourself a chance to be happy. And it's one day at a time, one meal at a time, one workout at a time, one step at a time. You climb to the highest mountain, right? It's the exact same thing. Repetition makes you better. Repetition makes the master. The more you do things over and over and over again, it becomes a habit. And what we really want to do is we want to create positive habits. And in order to create positive habits, we have to have positive thoughts. And we've mentioned this before. Every thought has a feeling in connection with it. Every feeling produces a certain action, leads us to a certain action. Every action creates a certain result. So if you want something different, you have to think positive, and you have to think a thought that makes you feel good. And that feeling will lead you to taking an action that makes you feel good. And then it's going to create a result that makes you feel good, getting you closer to wherever you want to go. So mental fitness is probably the most important chain in the link, but is seldom thought of. We think that it's just a matter of working out. The body can only go where you've told it to go. The mind can only go where you've told it to go. So give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance, because you owe it to yourself and you deserve to be happy. And the only way that you're going to be happy is to do something different. Einstein said if you do the exact same thing over and over again, you're going to basically get the exact same thing over and over and over again. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it wasn't, maybe Einstein didn't say that. Maybe I just said that. But either way, it's a truth. Einstein said the same mind that was used to create the problem can't be used to solve the problem. The same thought process that you have right now, the same personality that you have right now cannot solve your problem. You have to think differently. You have to do different. You have to take different actions, experience different feelings, and you'll get different results. And yes, Christine, the body is an instrument of the mind. So give yourself a chance. I had this song. I'm going to save it for next week because I'm sure nobody will get it.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
We want to thank you for joining us again this week. Thank you for your comments, your questions. We hope that you have an amazing week, a powerful week. We hope that you make the decision to live the existence that you want. And we hope that we gave you some valuable tools tonight to help you on that journey and to navigate where you want to go. And so we look forward to seeing you again next week. Have an amazing evening. Look in the mirror in the morning and tell yourself exactly how amazing, strong, and powerful you are. And we look forward to seeing you next week.
All right. See y'all. Bye.